Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another episode of the Just Seen podcast. Today I got an impromptu for y'all. This came about because, like, I think about a few weeks ago, I posed the question. I was thinking about trauma bonds and shit, and trauma bonds lead to pain, ultimately. But I also got a podcast episode on pain and joy being the only two emotions, whatever the case may be. So I was thinking, like, okay, there's a definite term for trauma bond, like. And the definite term, we'd be like, trauma bonds, lead to pain. They were the thing that sparked it. So it was like, with pain being the opposite of joy, it's like, what's the equivalent of a trauma bond to what's the equivalent of a trauma bond to joy that leads to joy? Like, what I'm saying? Not necessarily pain. So I was like, what's the fucking name for that shit? So I got to thinking, and it's like, could really come to terms with a word, like a word that's actually as powerful, that fits equally to the ideology of a trauma bond, and be as analogous to trauma bond is to pain as what is to joy. It's like, what would it be, So kind of went on social media, asked my homies, like, what y'all think is the word that would be used for a trauma bond? Because the equivalent of a trauma bond to something that would lead to joy. Because we know that pain is almost damn near an eternal thing. It's something that is like really etched on and imprinted into your soul. Like, you feel me? That shit, it runs through your body. Joy does the same thing, just from a positive perspective. But what is the trigger that creates a permanent moment that gives you joy? Like, what is the word for that shit? Like, what do you call the term? What kind of bond would that be? You feel me? So in asking some of my homies and shit, they were like, well, what about peace? What about freedom? And I'm like, it just didn't hit. It didn't hit as hard as trauma. Like, you feel me? You faced a trauma, therefore you're experiencing pain. What do you face when you experience joy? Like, what is the word? So, you feel me? I'm chilling, minding my own business, as I always do. And then it hit me. It hit me what the equivalent of trauma is, and it's euphoria. Euphoria is the equivalent of fucking trauma. But euphoria is that permanent thing that leads you to a joyous moment. Like a euphoric bond or euphoria bond, whatever the case may be. Still kind of, working out the kinks on what I actually want to call it. But understand, you heard it here first, damn it. The Just Saying podcast, profane profundity on whatever today's date is. But you heard it here first. Right? So it's like, the floodgates trying to open. So I kind of just want to have this conversation today about that. So this impromptu pop-up is about euphoric bonds. Like, for one, like, the most important piece is like, why has there not been an ideology or a term for something that would lead to joy? You feel me? Everybody says have joy. When I used to go to church and shit and be tied up in it, you feel me? You say you got to have joy. You don't just need happiness. You don't just need to be happy. You have to have joy. That a song, I got a joy, 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 joy down there in my heart. Some shit like that. I remember a little bit. But it's like, we want joy. That's what we're looking for out of life. But what's the trigger? What's the thing that permanently gives you joy? That it's unwavering. The joy, that feeling, whenever you experience it, it never goes away. What is that euphoria? What is that euphoric feeling? What is that moment? So that's kind of that's what I'm going to talk about today. I'm going to talk about euphoric bonds or euphoria bonds. I'm still working out the title as at the moment that we speak, but you've probably seen the title now, so you know what it is. But a euphoric bond, what is it? And how can we create them? You feel what I'm saying? And how can we start having relationships and shit like that? Like, I'm gonna go over all of that shit. I want to talk about all of that shit and just get it out, because my mind is really on 10 right now with this topic. But before we get started, as always, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_seen_. Be sure to visit my website, IamJustSeen.com, to check out all things Just Seen, to get my book, So Frail, The Reality of Black Male Masculinity, So Frail 2, Toxic Femininity, Hitting It Raw, Living a Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. If you would like to learn something, expand your mind, you can enroll into my course, Mastering the Market, a comprehensive guide to Forex trading, which covers both trading and investing and how to read the markets, or the Hitting It Raw program, which teaches you how to transition into the plant-based lifestyle. Also, if you like merch, any kind of designs that I make, you can go to Just Scene's merch. Get your favorite designs. I got a plethora of things over there and all kind of shirts, cups, anything you want. And you can also book a session with Chatting with Scene if you just want to talk about anything. You want to vent, you want to, anything. It's all there. Just visit the website, iamjustseen.com, to get all things that are just seen. To all of the people who tip, sponsor, and donate to the podcast, I greatly appreciate you. Anybody who would like to tip, donate, and sponsor, you can do so by clicking the link in the description of your podcast, not just the episode, but the podcast itself. Cash App and PayPal is just fine. And also be sure to share and like and rate the podcast on whatever platform you're on. Share it with your friends if you enjoy this episode, you enjoy previous episodes. Let them know about what's going on over here, because we be vibing. But with that being said, we're going to take a quick break. And when I come back, we're going to dive into impromptu pop-ups. I don't know the number at this point, but impromptu pop-ups, euphoric bonds. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit iamjustseen.com. There, you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the Soulfrell series to your library? Visit iamjustseen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit iamjustseen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit iamjustseen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit iamjustseen.com. You ever want to just chat with Scene about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit iamjustseen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at iamjustseen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit iamjustseen.com. All right. Welcome back. So let's dive into euphoric bonds. Okay, so like I was saying, like the shit just hit me kind of like a flash. It was like, because, I kind of just wanted to know, like, what is because, I was talking to one of my little cousins, and, she's about to turn 14, or she is 14, one or two, I don't know. But, she's telling me about, she got a little boyfriend and shit. She's liking boys and all of that. But, I've never been one to go that route with my little cousins, and girl, you better stop that. I know they like boys. I know they trying to, they experiencing this shit. It's their time of their life. It's this time of their. So I want to give them the game, and so we was talking about a little boy she like or whatever, and she was telling me, he a bad boy. She was like, he in the gang and he do this. She was like, but it's more to him. It's more to him. Like he has a good heart. He has a lot of things that I can relate to. So I was like what? And she was like, well, he been through this, I've been through that. He been through this, I've been through that. All negative shit. I'm like, she's like, and we've been talking for a year, so we kind of love each other. I said, baby girl, I because I'm old enough to do this shit now, I can say it. I was like, yo, you too young to know about love. I said, yo, you too young to know about love. Yo, you don't know what love is. But in the joking aspect, I did break it down for her. I was like, y'all are forming a trauma bond. And, she explained to me, she said, yeah, I noticed that since talking to him, like, a lot of shit has gotten bad for me. She ain't say shit to me, but, y'all know how I vibe. So she was like, yeah, a lot of things have just gotten bad. It's like, I noticed that my life started spiraling, but I love him. I said, you are in a trauma bond right now. And if you're not careful, it's going to keep spiraling down. You feel me? So I was like, damn, I have an immediate response for a trauma bond, right? Trauma bonds lead to pain. But then I was like, so I'm telling her, yo, you got to have a relationship that's going to lead you to joy. That's going to make you better. It's things that are going to, create positivity in your life. You know what I mean? And she was like, but we relate to each other. We get each other. I said, you get each other off the bad things. What are the good things y'all can relate to? She couldn't rattle off one thing. I said, now look, I ain't going to tell you to break up with him. I ain't going to tell you not to fuck with him. I ain't going to tell you to leave him alone. But I will say this. Be mindful that you are in a trauma bond. She was like, I ain't never heard of a trauma bond like that. Why ain't nobody say nothing about that? I was like, because you're not even supposed to be having a boyfriend right now. So ain't nobody really talking to you like I'm going to talk to you. But I was like, I'm going to give you the game early because I don't want you to get fucked up out here, So anyway, it, as I'm, contemplating and reflecting on the conversation I had, I was like, damn. What is it that we connect with people that leads us to joy. The permanent shit that just, soon as we tap into this particular thing, it sends us on a high. Not on a high in the sense that, it distracts us or anything like that, but it gives us the equal but opposite equivalent of what pain gives us. You feel what I'm saying? Because I reached a point in my life where I'm like, I don't want to relate to somebody's pain anymore. I've experienced enough pain in my motherfucking life. I want to connect to a motherfucker's joy. Like, what brings you joy? Because that shit brings me joy too. You feel me? So in thinking about that, it hit me like a whole Tyson punch in the face. Bow, right in the motherfucking mouth. I said, it's euphoria. Euphoria. Those moments, when we have a euphoric fucking moment, that shit, anytime you tap back into that euphoric moment, it sends you back to joy. You feel me? It makes you feel good all over again. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get stuck in the crazy shit. Like, but how many euphoric moments do we really have in life? Have we ever defined it? And do we really connect with people on the strength of euphoria? I think just looking at my own life, the last time I connected with somebody off of euphoria was when I was a kid. Our friendships when we were kids, they're straight euphoric bonds. Me and my homies are traded Pokemon cards. Pokemon fucking bought us euphoria, bro. You don't know what it was like. I never forget the day. Because now when I look back, I know for a fact this was a euphoric moment. This shit make me feel good right now just thinking about the shit. I remember I was 11 years old. I had went to the Dollar Tree. I don't know why Dollar Tree was slinging Pokemon cards for the low. But damn it, they was selling these motherfuckers, right? I went to Dollar Tree. And I got me a pack of Pokemon cards. I got a couple packs of Pokemon cards. But I got this pack of Pokemon cards. And they had this was right after Pokemon Silver. That Silver, Gold, and Crystal series came out. It was right after that. So on Pokemon Silver, you had Lugia, right? Lugia was the rare Pokemon that you had to fight. That was like the top Pokemon and shit, right? So they made the movie about Lugia, motherfucking Pokemon, the movie 2000. You had Lugia and shit. See, y'all can hear the excitement in my voice right motherfucking now. Like, this is fucking euphoria. I'm having joy right now. You feel me? So I go to the motherfucking Dollar Tree. I stock up on some Pokemon cards. I got about like 7 packs. You feel me? I got like 7 packs. So I get the 7 packs of Pokemon cards. I open them shits up. The 3rd pack I open, I didn't even open the other 4. The 3rd pack I opened, I was like, yo, I got a fucking Lugia. The bitch was holographic. Man, that motherfucker was, that bitch was pretty. I said, yo, I got a fucking Lugia. I went right to my next door neighbor. No, he wasn't my neighbor at the time. He used to be my neighbor. He moved around the corner. So I ran to his crib. I was like, yo, bro, guess what I got? He was like, what? I said, I got a Lugia. He said, stop lying. I was like, yo, for real, I got a Lugia. As soon as I pulled it out, he was like, oh, yo, you got a Lugia. Yo, he was so fucking turned. He was so fucking excited. So I put that shit in my little card holder. I used to carry that bitch around like a gat, bro. I kept that bitch on me. I kept that thing on me, bro. So that was my Pokemon cards. I kept them bitches on me because you never know when the motherfucker wanted to trade. You never know when the motherfucker wanted to battle, bro. Pull up, bro. I got my cards. You feel me? I had a lot too. I had like, I don't know. I had some dope ass cards too. Like I had fucking Charizard. I had 2 Charizards, fucking Zapdos, motherfucking. I had a Blastoise, motherfucking. Yo, I had so much shit. But yo, this was my shit. So I go around to my other homies that, I was like, yo, I got a Lugia. The shit was so fucking rare. The Lugia was so fucking rare that everybody, as soon as I said it, it was like, yo, stop lying, bro. You ain't got no fucking Lugia. I was like, yo, I'm dead ass, bro. I got a fucking Lugia. So they was like, let me see. I had my folder right there with me. I pulled that bitch out, flipped it to page 17. Bitch, what's that? I knew it was on page 17 because I used to always order my Pokemon cards by number from like 1 to 150. And then they had a new series from 151 to 251. So I numbered these shits, right? So, you feel me? I'm telling these motherfuckers, yo, I got a Lugia. So I pulled that bitch out and I showed them. Everybody, oh, yo, I'll trade you this. Nope, I already got that. Everything they was trying to trade me, I already have it. They was like, but you have this. I was like, nope, you're going to have to pay me to get Lugia, bro. I don't even know where the fuck my Pokemon cards at now. I think I gave them bitches away or something. It's like when I turned like 13 or some shit. I was 13, I was a teenager. Who fuck plays Pokemon shit? So, whatever. But I was like, you gonna have to pay me for this shit. Everybody was trying to trade me and shit. But the point of that, I kind of got took away. But the point of that was a euphoric moment. That was a euphoric moment. And we, as my friends through the Pokemon game, through the Pokemon cards, we had created a euphoric bond. No matter what we did when it came to Pokemon, we was happy. Like, you feel me? We was at peace. We was at joy. We didn't think about the troubles of the world. We didn't give a fuck about shit. You feel me? It was 100% joy. You feel me? We had a straight euphoric bond. Those friends that I connected with at that point with Pokemon, Game Boys, trading, all of that shit, we had euphoric bonds. And that was probably like, I say that had to be the last one I had. You feel me? When I was in elementary school, our euphoric bond was kickball at recess. You feel me? When we become quote unquote adults, we stop fucking with euphoria. The only euphoria we get is alcohol and drugs. You feel me? Alcohol and drugs. That shit gives us the euphoria that we were chasing as kids and shit. But kids, we just had that shit. You feel me? Just being outside was fucking euphoria. So we had a lot of euphoric moments. So it's like, but I don't think anybody ever really put that shit into perspective for us. You know? And so just looking back at how close me and my friends were and how, you know, and then those same friends, we ended up stop fucking with each other because I connected with friends off of trauma bonds. And those became my real, I ain't gonna say my real homies, but they became my homies. I started putting down Pokemon, and then we and one of my homies, we jumped one of my old homie's brothers because he called my sister a bitch. It wasn't supposed to be a jump, but I was beating him up, and then my homie just felt the need to jump in and shit. So I was like, whatever, I ain't gonna stop it. But he should have called my sister a bitch. But anyway, those friends, the latter friends, we started creating trauma bonds. We started creating trauma bonds. We no longer had euphoria. We no longer had joy. You feel me? Damn, just listening to myself talk about it, I see how my whole energy just shifted right after that. But anyway, I'm going to try to stay the course, stay on topic of the euphoric bonds and shit. But how often do we create, do we even know to create a euphoric bond with people? Like, how can we relate to people through euphoria? Like, this shit that you're doing, it brought you a sense of joy. It took you to a whole different level of just being joyous. You feel me? Why we don't connect with those anymore? We connect with miserable people. We connect with people that are, you know, just trauma-ridden. We're trauma-ridden. And we keep connecting with people off of trauma and just wonder why trauma just runs our life. You feel me? We don't really have many euphoric bonds anymore. You know? And they're important. They're important. I think it's hard to get them because we don't even have a name for them. Because like I said, when I was posting that shit, I was literally thinking for a long time about that shit. This should have been on my mind for a minute. I was like, what the fuck is the equivalent of a trauma bond to joy? Because I know trauma bonds are going to lead me to pain and fucked up shit. But what is the fucking connection to what it is that will bring me joy? Like, how am I making connections with friends through joy? You know, when I look at my and this is another thing, like when you start having euphoric moments with people that you once trauma bonded with, you'll see the misery in them. Those are the things, like, we be thinking they're haters. They're not haters. We're just having a euphoric moment with what we once trauma bonded with. It don't mix. It's like oil and water. Or oil and milk. Whatever the fuck dude said on Say the Last Dance. You know? This shit just don't mix. You dig what I'm saying? And we get that euphoria and we share with somebody and we can just see that the envy just popping over them. Don't share that shit with me. Oh, you bragging. You're not bragging with people that you create euphoric bonds with. You feel me? Now that I'm older in life, I'm realizing that a lot of the people that I have started creating euphoric bonds with, they're business people. They're entrepreneurs. You feel me? Soon as I post something or soon as I share something about a piece of success, I know I have a euphoric bond with people by how hyped they get. You feel me? That shit just get me more hyper. It's like, yo, you just inspired me to go do this shit, bro. I want to do this shit too. And then they come and tell me some new shit that they just did. Yo, I just did this. And we get hyper for that shit because I learned that we're creating euphoric bonds. I just never had a word for it. Because that shit brings me joy. You feel me? That shit brings me joy. Being an entrepreneur brings me joy. You feel me? I don't look at this shit as work. I don't look at this shit as, you know, it's joy for me. You feel me? This shit is a joyous occasion. So when I link with people who's like, yo, I just started this business, or I'm trying to get my feet wet when this, like, people hit me up, yo, I started my podcast, yo. Word, send me the link so I can listen to the first one. Listen to it, give them the feedback and shit. You feel me? I got a homie, she decided she wants to write a book and shit, so she hit me up like, yo, I'm writing this book. We working on it and shit right now. We are literally creating Euphoric bond right now. You feel what I'm saying? Because like she hit me up, she sent me the new chapters that she got and everything like that. I read the motherfuckers. I be like, yo, this part is hot. Then we start talking about it, and then, you know what I mean? As we're talking about it, we'll come up with new ideas and shit. And she be like, yo, I'm like, yo, what if you have this plot twist loophole in this motherfucker right here? She be like, yo, I didn't even think about that, but that is so tight. That is so tight. But I was like, yo, you know, we gotta, finagle that shit in if you can. But you know, this your story. You feel me? Like, do your thing. But I've learned that we're creating a whole euphoric bond. You dig what I'm saying? And then I'll be looking at like relationships that don't, like failing relationships, like with people. We our relationships are failing because we don't create euphoric bonds, but we want euphoria. You feel me? We want joy, but we're not creating euphoric bonds with people. Like, it start off cool. You make me feel so good. You're in my head. You do that, that bullshit. But then when the trauma starts kicking in again, and then you start bonding trauma-wise, but you trying to create a life of euphoria, it don't work. That shit don't work. It sound good. It sound good when motherfuckers be, you know, I want to do all of this shit. You feel me? But that euphoria is not there. You feel what I'm saying? I'm a nerd. I'm a nerd, so I geek out over nerdy shit. You feel me? So I create euphoric bonds with people who geek out over nerdy shit too. Like, if I learn some new shit, bruh, we talking about that shit. Like, we gonna go to. I'm like, yo, I'll be so turned. You feel me? I'll be so turned because now I'm realizing that is a euphoric moment. And the thing that I'm having this connection with is something that brings me joy. It don't bring me pain. It brings me joy. And, you know, when people be like, it just makes me so happy that you more, like, cause this is a euphoric bond right now. We're bonding off of fucking euphoria. This is something that makes me feel good. This is something that makes you feel good. This shit is dope. You feel what I'm saying? This shit is dope. You feel me? I got a like a live session interview thing coming up soon, and it was set up off of a euphoric bond. Like, I do jam sessions. I like to, like, writing brings me euphoria. Like, if you follow me on Instagram periodically, you probably caught one. But like, if you can see the joy in my eyes, the fun that I'm having when I'm performing these shits, bro, I like putting words together. That shit brings me joy. It brings me joy to do. So this is like a euphoric bond that I'm connecting with on this level with this person, because you feel what I'm saying? She heard my music and was like, yo, she heard it. She's like, yo, I'm doing this art thing, and I want you to feature on it. Like, you know, cause your shit, like, it's like, I fucks with it, cause we're having a euphoric moment. And it never dawned on me that shit happens. You know, it never dawned on me. Like, that shit is, you know, and it put into perspective why motherfuckers can't be proud of you when you succeed. Because when you're used to trauma bonding with motherfuckers, your success is a euphoric moment for you. You're trying to share a euphoric moment with a motherfucker who don't succeed. Not on any funny shit, because everybody has their own level of success and shit, but you're trying to create a euphoric moment with motherfuckers that don't really succeed like that. So yeah, it's bragging. It's not, motherfucker, I'm sharing my joy with you. You should be happy that a motherfucker's willing to share their joy with you. You feel me? But imagine that shit, like how it changes. You feel me? You get into a relationship with motherfuckers, and every time you share something new, it brings you down. Like, you feel me? Now it's starting to make sense. Like, when I look at, you know, the relationships that didn't work, they didn't work because we trauma bonded, and I was one who was always having euphoria. You feel me? I love euphoric moments. I love them. I live for them. But I never had a name for them. I never had a name for them till now. You feel me? I be telling motherfuckers, yo, I just sold this amount of shirts today. I ain't never do that before. You feel me? Or I just got this many spins on a podcast episode that I never had before. And you listen to them, like, oh, word. Bitch, I'm sharing my joy with you. I'm having a euphoric moment with your trauma-ridden ass. And you can't appreciate it. Am I mad at them for that? Not anymore. Not anymore. They like, motherfuckers can't be happy for me. They can't. Not only, like, really. Motherfuckers really can't be happy for you. Because Your joy is a opposite but equal magnitude to their pain. You feel me? I can't share shirts. And then you get to a point where you don't even want to share your euphoric moments with people because you're like, it's just gonna bring the mood down. You're gonna bring the mood down. Like how fucked up does that is that really? If I share a euphoric moment with you, if I share something, so a point of euphoria, and it brings the mood down. Because you like, damn. You feel me? I had a homie one time, it's still my homie, she cool. She cool as fuck, you know what I mean? But she had, I started telling, I just launched this and this. You're like, I'm low-key jealous of you because you're walking in your purpose and I got to still figure mine out. I was like, damn, come on, don't do that, bro. You gonna get yours. You gonna get your time. Your shit gonna come keep putting in your work. You feel me? I couldn't share my euphoria with her. Don't get me wrong. Me and her have a lot of euphoric moments. Like, and do you ever wonder why, like, sometimes when people don't have enough euphoric moments, y'all got to stay in one vein? You feel me? I study a lot of esoteric shit. New age, occult, whatever the fuck you want to call it. I study a lot of esoteric shit. But I study people who study one esoteric thing. I fucks with people who do that, and it's like they stay in that vein. So the only time we can really have a conversation is when we're on that thing, because that's the thing that brings them euphoria. So I got to stay there. Everything else I try to do, or everything else I try to bring about, it's like, oh, you have a trauma with that shit. Like, you don't really fuck with that. So I can't bring that to you. But I can stay in the euphoria. And like I said, I love euphoric moments, so I stay there. I would literally have make a friendship with a motherfucker just off of astrology. Like, all you do is astrology, because astrology makes their eyes light up. You know those conversations you have with a motherfucker who they're expressing something. You can see the twinkle in their motherfucking eyes. They smile. They get all happy. You can see that whole energy change, but then they'll stop midway and be like, but I don't want to, be too. Fuck that. Keep going. What you're experiencing is a fucking euphoric moment. You are stepping into a euphoric bond with that person, and they don't want to create that euphoric bond because they're so used to creating euphoric bonds or attempting to, and the motherfucker deflect that shit. You feel me? Imagine being a child and you expressing something so great and you don't get the reception that you perceive it to be. Like, damn. For real? This is how you feel? Like, for real, bro. Come on. I remember when I dropped my second book, I released Hitting the Raw, Living a Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. I'm proud of myself. I released another book. I'm like, okay, cool. I'm telling people, I'm like, yeah, they read the book, oh, damn, you got another book out? You writing another one? Uh-huh. Yeah, like, this shit get me turned. Like, I like writing. Like, yo, this is what I do. But then just to hear that, oh, you writing another book? Yeah. Yeah. And then you start to see, man, I can't share good news with you. You feel me? I can't share good news with you. I have people like, yo, why am I the last one to know? You tell me why you're the last one to know about shit that I do. Because every time I tell you something, you either gotta, you'll have a whole conversation with a motherfucker, right? You could be having a whole euphoric moment with their ass, and they will switch the whole conversation. And it's almost like all that you said, they heard none of it. They heard it all. But it was euphoric, and they can't relate to it. But they will try to relate to the closest thing they have that brings euphoria. So while you listening, like, fuck, why? That shit, come on, bro. Like, why you gotta go there? You feel me? Or sis, why you gotta go there? You feel me? And they'll be on some shit like, oh, no, I'm happy for you. But, I gotta get mine. Like, no, don't bring me that energy. You feel me? Clap for me when I start clapping for myself, bro. Like, do that. It's okay. But you meet motherfuckers like that. Poetic justice. When Lucky was playing his cousin's song and shit, Janet, her character was vibing to it. I don't remember the name. What was Justice? Damn, the name is. The motherfucking movie is Poetic Justice. It's about her. All right, so Justice. When Justice was motherfucking, she bobbing her head to it. Virginia King character, she was bobbing her head to it. I don't remember her name though, but Virginia King's character, she was bobbing her head to it. And then Chicago, he had to say, man, it's alright. And I'm like, bitch, why you always gotta say something negative, man? You know what I'm saying? He's like, yo, fuck you, bitch. Why you gotta have something negative? What that moment was, it was a euphoric moment. You feel me? Because Pop was feeling it. You feel me? Everybody was feeling it. And then you had a person having a trauma moment. Like, I don't want nobody to feel good about, don't feel good about this shit. Yeah, all right, man. Shit need to work on this shit. Motherfuckers will always try to find a way to critique. Because euphoria and trauma can't walk hand in hand. They can't walk hand in hand. You feel what I'm saying? So you probably experience moments like that. You have a whole euphoric moment. You can't wait to tell a motherfucker, yo, check this out. Like, yo, bam, 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 this is what I got. That's euphoria. Greatest example. One of the greatest examples I ain't never get to experience, but I see it on TVs. You feel me? When a father walks through the home. I seen it in the old TVs. The kids, Daddy's home. These little motherfuckers experiencing euphoria like a motherfucker. They're having a whole euphoric moment just to see their dad, just to see their father. That's euphoria for a child. You feel me? That shit, I feel like our inner children, the reason why they so fucked up, because they stop experiencing euphoria. We be like, yo, we talk all the time. Like, I see a lot of posts. I see a lot of shit. Like, motherfuckers send me shit, about the inner child. The inner child needs this. The inner child needs euphoria. I feel like once our inner children started to experience trauma and that became a normalcy for our inner child, that's where it stayed. It stopped experiencing euphoria. It stopped having euphoric moments. You feel me? I know people who have bad experiences with their birthdays. You feel me? How you have a bad experience on your birthday? That creates that's a trauma bond. That's some fucked up shit. Your birthday should have a euphoric moment. I remember I remember two different scenarios on one of my birthdays. Well, two different birthdays. One birthday had to be like my 6th or 7th birthday. What happened? The birthday was cool. I remember my mom made me this confetti cake. That was the first time I ever had a confetti cake. That bitch was colorful as shit. The whole birthday was dope. I had a whole euphoric moment, right? In the moment. One of my cousins decided they want to fight. Not me, but she punched the neighbors she punched the neighbor in the fucking mouth. Like, what the fuck you bust her lip for? Like, what y'all fighting for on my birthday, bro? Like, you feel me? It turned that shit to us like, yo, some motherfuckers really just can't have good shit. I mean, we were kids. I think that was like my 7th birthday, 6th or 7th birthday. No, it was my 6th birthday, because my 7th birthday was the one where I had a bad experience with my birthday because they gave me birthday licks. You feel me? That was the first time I really got birthday licks. The motherfuckers was hitting me hard, bro. And then they were hitting me so motherfucking hard. There was so many people. And the irony, it was at church. You feel me? So I'm literally in tears trying to blow my candles out. The adults thinking I'm just happy for them. No, I just got beat the fuck up. Like, everybody was hitting me. You feel me? They jumped me because it was my birthday and shit. You feel what I'm saying? Turned a potentially euphoric moment to a trauma moment. You feel what I'm saying? That's what it turned like some of us have birthdays like that. Of course, not where you got beat up and shit like that, but some of us have birthdays just like, yo, motherfuckers forgot about me. Or motherfuckers didn't give anything to me. Or, you know what I'm saying? That's that, like, those moments should be euphoric. You feel me? But they last forever. You remember them. You remember these motherfuckers forever, bro. You feel me? Because it creates that joy. No matter what you do, when you think about it, that shit's supposed to tap back into you. You're supposed to tap back in and feel extra, 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 extra good about it. Just sitting there talking about it, it should just light you up. You feel me? That's what joy is. That's what joy is. The moment you think about it. But then you know how we think about our painful moments. The moment we start thinking about it, our energy changes. We just start going down because now we start to feel. We start to take on and remember everything that happened in that moment when that trauma was hit. When that trauma hit. You feel what I'm saying? When that trauma hit. Like, I'm really just paying attention to how I'm just the battle back and forth right now. Like, as soon as I start talking about a euphoric moment, I can see how hype I get. You feel me? And how positive my energy starts to shift. And as soon as I start thinking about a painful one, it just like literally starts to go back down. And it's like, damn, bro. Why don't we have many euphoric moments with people? You feel me? And then you have those trauma bonds, those trauma moments that you're expressing with motherfuckers who try to outdo you. Bitch, don't outdo my trauma. One of the biggest things that I hate hearing, that I hear so much, is like, motherfuckers like, I'm motherfucking tired, bro. You ain't work 16 hours like I did, bitch. That don't mean I'm not tired. Fuck you. Stop trying to outdo my trauma moment. But we get so used to that that's what makes trauma so bad. Like trauma moments and trauma bonds, and that's why we're operating in pain so much. Because even if we're just expressing a trauma moment just to get the shit out, there's gonna be a motherfucker. I had more trauma than you. A mile or more motherfucker, a Mr. Me Too or Miss Me Too. They have to go that far with it. You feel me? Like they have to take it that extra step. You feel me? When I was young, I used to do that shit too. Like another thing, another euphoric moment that people undermine and they downplay so much is like, oh, that person, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth. Okay. The fuck? And then you had the polarity, you had the quandary, the fucked up quandary of motherfuckers that lived in euphoria and won't experience trauma. Biggest example is motherfuckers to be like, yo, I'm from the, bitch, you ain't from the hood. Like, motherfuckers that's really from the hood want to get out. They don't want to stay there. They don't really want to stay there. I don't give a fuck how much you glorify it. I don't give a fuck how much motherfuckers think. Like, some people have accepted that they can't get out so much that they won't. And that's why they feel like, you see the happy moments, they make the best of their situation, but nobody wants to stay in that shit. Then you got these motherfuckers that never been in it, and it's like, oh, I want to come to the hood. I want to, no, don't do that shit now. Don't come here. Don't come to the hood. Like, please don't. Stay away. Stay far away. We're fighting to get out the shit. We're fighting hard to get out of shit. All right. Look. The markets are not a difficult place to understand. All right. You just have to know what you're looking at. And there's 5 things that you need to see before you can make any market entry. First, you need a pocket so you can know which direction the market is going in. Second, you need a pullback so you can get the better price. Third, you need a battlefield so you can see when that market movement is slowing down. Fourth, you need the upper hand so you can see when the market reactivates. And last, you need a final push so you can see the exact moment when it's time to go with the direction you are already moving in. Okay? Of course, there's so much more that has to go into that, and it's not as cut and dry as that. But those are things that I teach in my Mastering the Market course. So if you would like to learn more, please visit IamJustSeen.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today. Although it is directed and specialized for Forex, all of the skills, I crafted them to be transferable to any market that you're looking at. So again, visit IamJustSeen.com and check out the Mastering the Market course today if you are truly looking to master the market. Oh yeah, and don't forget, while I still got you, you can use promo code QUARANTINE to save over 90% off of the enrollment of the full price of the course. That is QUARANTINE, CORNTEEN. You feel me? And that's that fucked up reality, And then you come into the motherfucker and you start experiencing pain. You start experiencing shit that I had a girlfriend tell me she just wanted hood love. I said, yo, you don't want that shit. Trust me. It looks no, it's not good. You want a motherfucker that's probably gonna shoot another motherfucker for you until they pull a gun on you. You feel me? And now you need a box cutter because you gotta cut them. You feel me? Like shit's crazy. It's weird. Like that shit ain't cool. You feel me? But the point in all of that is, bringing it all back to the euphoric moments. We really hate euphoria because we know it leads to joy. Like when a motherfucker say some good shit, like, you feel me? Fuck you. Like, let me enjoy my euphoria. Let me enjoy my euphoric moment that is triggering my joy. You feel me? That is triggering my joy. Like, I got homies. It's crazy. Like, our connection, we became tight-ass friends because we almost got kicked out of college and shit. So it was definitely a trauma moment. But we didn't get kicked out of college. So we stayed in that motherfucker, so it turned into a euphoric moment. It's joy. Like, we tight as fuck. And we have created friendships through euphoric moments. All of the moments that we have are good. Like when I think about the moments in which we link, we don't have many bad moments together. We had a rotten apple that was in the clique that we should. And the crazy part about it, the rotten apple that was in the clique was my girlfriend. She shouldn't have been there. She was my girlfriend at the time. Like she was the trauma piece to all of the euphoric moments that we had. You feel me? And I would know that we was creating euphoric moments because like everything was good. Like being around them, whenever we would tell stories and shit, like it just be hype. It'd be happy. Like, you feel me? We have moments like when we link again and shit, we tell the stories about the shit that we did. It's just like, yo, it's so happy. It's just so vibrant. And then you got those friends that's just, everything's bad. Everything's negative. And, I've learned that it's not so much, because you can You can be around positive people and you can still be creating trauma bonds with positive people. That's a quandary in its own. You feel me? And that's one of the hardest, that's one of the fucked up pieces to it too, because we're creating trauma bonds we're creating positive moments out of trauma bonds, and we're having positivity with it. We can stay in that. We think that's feeling good, but no, it still can lead to pain, because now it cosigns the bullshit. Now it cosigns the thing that makes you. Now you don't have to do the inner work. You don't desire to do the inner work because it's like, I don't, this person we see the positive in our trauma, and we're making the best of it. At this point, I want all euphoric moments from this point forward in life. I want moments of pure euphoria. You feel me? Like, bam, bro, let's connect off this euphoric shit. Like, fuck the trauma, yo. I get it. I get it. I've been there. I've related to your pain. I got that, but I'm not staying there. Let's talk about some trauma. I mean, not some trauma. Let's talk about some euphoria. What's the shit that you used to do? Like, most of us, our euphoric moments go so far back that we barely remember. You feel me? When I talk to old people, like, when I talk to older people in relationships, by the time, you got to deal with a lot. You motherfuckers deal with a lot of trauma and shit. And you think fuck no, I'm not building a relationship off that shit. Fuck no, I'm never doing that shit again. I'm not building up because we relate to each other's trauma. Nah, let's relate to each other's euphoria, yo. Let's relate to each other's euphoria. Show me the things that made you feel good in life. What things made you, I'm done fucking with dealing with healing shit, like shit that, it's all about pain. Fuck that. I'm black and I'm in America. You feel me? Like, it's all pain. I don't want to connect to that shit no more. I don't want that to be the reason why we vibe, and I don't want that to be the reason why our focus is there, because that's going to keep us in a painful light. You feel me? I'm all for my people. I'm all for building, transforming my people, but I'm tired of transforming our people through pain. Let's do that shit. I'm tired of transforming our people through trauma. Let's start transforming each other through euphoria. What's the good shit that you bring? What's the good shit that makes you, that gives you that smile anytime you talk about it? That gives you that trigger that lights your motherfucking soul on fire and sets you up and you just smiling all fucking day. What's that? What's that moment right there? You feel me? An example of, this is just a quick backtracking real quick. Example of a positive moment through trauma was on Power. When Tasha is telling the story about how she fell in love with Ghost. Or how Ghost knew that she was the one, or whatever the case may be, was when they got pulled over and she held the gun. He's like, yo, you took that rap for me. That's a positive moment out of a trauma bond. That's a trauma fucking moment. Y'all got pulled over by the motherfucking police. But positivity came about it because y'all didn't get pulled. Y'all didn't get the ticket. Y'all didn't have to get out of the car. Y'all didn't get charged with anything, and you held it down. You feel me? You're my ride or die. You feel me? I don't want no more of that shit. No more trauma shit. No more trauma moments for me. No more connecting with people off trauma moments. I don't give a fuck no more. I don't give a fuck who you are. I ain't connecting off no more motherfucking trauma. Yo, feel your shit and let's start connecting off euphoria. What's the shit that brings you joy? What's the shit that takes you to that next level? What's the shit that gives you the excitement to keep going? Not the shit that defeats you and makes you stop. Fuck that. Fuck that. I'm now tapping into whole euphoric moments. And, now that I personally have put a name, like I'm big on words. I'm big on words and defining shit. The moment you have a concrete association with something, it's easier to understand. You feel what I'm saying? Not a description of what it could be, but an actual definition of some shit is easier to understand. Not only is it easier to understand, it's easier to implement and apply. You feel me? From this point forward, I'm spotting euphoric moments. When we talking, that shit that makes you light up, that's what I want to build on. That's what I want to build on. Fuck the bullshit. Yeah, we can talk about each other's pain. I'm not going to dismiss your pain, but no. Unload that euphoria on me. That's what you do. I got your trauma. When you feeling it, let it out. But unload, dump that shit on me. You feel me? Give me your euphoria. That's what the fuck I want. You feel what I'm saying? We'll hit homies up. Yo, you in the space to hear something? What's up, bro? What's up, sis? What you got for me? Trauma moment. You don't want to hear that shit no more. We need to change this conversation. Yo, are you in the space to hear some fucking good news? You feel me? Look, this just happened to me. Boom, 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 boom. Yo, I'm on fucking 10 right now. Yo, this what? And then you sharing that with me. And then we build our friendship off of that. We build our relationships off of that. We create the standards off of that. For me, it's like for 2021, 2020 definitely ain't happening. But 2020, it was over before it started. But anyway, you feel me? 2021, I'm creating all euphoria moments, yo. All euphoric bonds. If you ain't got no euphoria in your life and you can't relate, fuck that. I want my inner child to be happy, yo. My inner child about to be happy with your inner child. We gonna talk about all euphoric moments, even if we just got 5 between us, goddamn. We gonna have a build off of straight euphoric moments. I want to get excited. I want to, have those moments where, we just vibing, and it's all euphoria. Case in point, I had one of these late, how you had those dope ass late night conversations and shit. So I had one when I was in like undergrad, and we were talking about being raised in the South and shit. Like, you feel me? It was like, yo, when you in the South, the only direction is to go all the way down. If you listen to this, you from the South, you know what the fuck I'm talking about. When people giving you directions and shit, they be like, "Hey, look, this is what you're gonna do. You're gonna go, you're gonna hit this highway, and then when you hit the highway, at the third exit, you're gonna take the exit, all right? Okay, then what? After you take that exit, right, you're gonna come to that first stop sign. When you hit that first stop sign, you're gonna make that left. Okay, when you make that left, they're gonna give you the name of the street. So you're gonna make that left, and you're gonna go all the way down." Yo, we was up to like 4 o'clock in the morning bugging off of that, yo, because we just kept saying it, like, and it stuck so well that it became that inside joke that made you laugh. Like, you feel what I'm saying? He was like, "Yo, where we gotta go?" All the way down. You feel what I'm saying? And that created that moment of euphoria. You feel me? I had another one with a homegirl and shit. Well, we was actually talking, like, she's a homie now and shit. But we was actually talking at one point in time. And we had went on a hike. Or like, it wasn't even a hike. It was just me and her running around the island and shit, right? And so it's dark as fuck where we at. We got one little light that only illuminate like 2 feet in front of us. That's how fucking dark it was. So we decided we want to go down this little steep ass embankment, right? And so as we going down this motherfucker, it's nothing but rocks, right? So she's behind me, I'm in front of her. When I was like, "Look, give me your hand. We gonna make this shit." So I'm slipping and sliding, she's slipping and sliding, but I'm like, yo, I can't let her fall. As you know what I'm saying? So it's like we having this whole motherfucker, like we're literally, when I say this is dangerous as fuck. We can't see shit. We had these little pocket lights that the school gave us to motherfucking, navigate or whatever. But like I said, we couldn't see no more than 2 feet in front of us, right? 2 feet in front of us and up to the stars. Like, that's all we could fucking see. So we literally sliding down this motherfucker. Like, every time we slip and slide, we laugh. We are fucking laughing our ass off. I'm like, "Yo, don't you fucking fall, because I'm gonna fall." And she's like, "You better not fall, because we gonna tumble down this motherfucker." I said, "Look, if we fall," I said, "Look, let's do it like this. Let's sit down and slide." She said, "I ain't sliding on these motherfucking rocks. Are you crazy as hell?" So we eventually made it down. Then we climbed up off the other side. That shit was fun. That's a euphoric moment. We also had another moment where we ate edibles together for the first time. Oh my gosh. This motherfucker here, she decides she wants to motherfucking, lick the bowl of the brownies we was making. The first thing, right, as we're making them, the recipe of the brownies called for 1/4 cup of oil, right? So the way I was, chefing up the oil and shit, I was simmering the chronic into the oil and fuse it. You feel me? I was only gonna use a little bit. She bought an ounce. We bought an ounce of it, right? And so I'm cooking it up in my apartment and shit, or whatever the case may be, bam, bam. And so I'm like, "Yo, she said, put the whole ounce in that motherfucker." I said, "No, like, what the fuck are you trying to do?" She said, "It can't be that bad." I said, "Have you ever smoked weed before?" She was like, "Yeah, I smoked it before." I said, "This ain't the same. It's worse than that." You feel me? She said, "You ever had the edibles before?" I said, "No, we gonna be doing the edibles together." But at the end of the day, neither one of us has done edibles before. So she said, "Fuck it." I bought all this shit, put it in there. All right. So I'm simmering, I'm chefing this whole motherfucker up. Boom, 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 cooking it up. Made a whole 4th cup of the oil. Made the motherfucking brownies and shit. So she like, "I'm gonna lick the bowl." So she said, "It tastes pretty good. Like, you can't even tell." I was like, "Yo." All right, so when I say she licked the whole bowl, she licked the whole fucking bowl. So I'm cooking the brownies and shit, the brownies chefing up. And so as the brownies are chefing up and shit, you feel me? She like, "I gotta go lay down." I was like, "All right, cool." So no, she didn't lay down yet, because the brownies finished, and then she ate a whole fucking brownie. Like, I cut these bitches up and I cut them up into like really small pieces. They really wasn't that big, right? So she ate the brownie and shit, And, she decides she go lay down and shit. So I'm like, all right, she laying down. I'm eating. I ate one. The shit didn't work. Now, this is the brownie moment. Like, for anybody who decides to do edibles, if you've never done them for the first time, do not forget the fact that it has to digest in your stomach and process through your motherfucking body. Do you hear me? That's the process through your body. I ate 3 of these motherfucking edibles. My thing is, I smoke weed, bro. This ain't shit. I smoke some of the greatest weed you could think of sometimes. You feel me? And I've never been put on my ass. Bruh. I popped 3 of these motherfuckers and I put on Blue Street. Because I'm like, man, these shits ain't kicking in, bro. So I lay down, I don't know if they was kicking in and putting me to sleep or I just got tired. But all I know is I laid down. And then I got up and it's like dark, like Blue Streak is still on, but it's like all I see is because the lights was like, the sun was out. You feel me? The sun was out. So it had to be like right between the sun going down and shit. So as the sun's going down, Blue Streak is on. I look, because like the way my apartment was set up there, it was like from my living room, I could see straight into the room I was in, to my room. And so she was on the bed asleep. So I thought, like, she sit up on the motherfucker and just like, yo, what the fuck is going on? I was like, yo, you good? She said, no. Look, between the two of us, man, we was high for like 3 days. Like, we ate them edibles on a Friday. And my high didn't come down till Tuesday. Feel me? I missed Monday's class, right? And when I showed up Tuesday, soon as she looked me in my face, we both started dying, laughing. That shit was crazy. It was a moment of euphoria. We had created a euphoric bond. To this day, no matter what it is, like, I know, like, I had found a meme. It was like a Steve Harvey meme or something. It's like, yo, when you thought the edible was bullshit, then it kick in. And it's like him with tears. She will comment on it and she will see it like that. She would be like, yo, yes, I remember. I will never forget that shit. That shit was so fucking hilarious. But you feel me? The point that I'm making with that was that, you feel me? It created a euphoric moment. It created a whole euphoric moment. There's things in life that we got to start doing again that gives us euphoria. That triggers the euphoria to make us, not even worry about the bad. My homies that I had a euphoric bond with from undergrad, we still friends to this day. You feel what I'm saying? And we went to what was it, King's Dominion, the amusement park, and we get on the Intimidator. The Intimidator is that's a beast, bro. That's a beast, bro. That motherfucking roller coaster is a fucking beast, dog. Like, I can't play with you on that shit. That motherfucker's a beast. So they ain't want to get on the motherfucker, right? They was like, we'll wait for you to get on. I was like, all right, fuck it. I ain't no bitch, bro. I'm going to get on this motherfucker. I ain't calling them a bitch or nothing like that. But I'm just saying, I ain't no bitch. So I'm going to get on the motherfucker. As we walk into the Intimidator, right? The disclaimer is, if you are not in shape physically and mentally, do not attempt this ride. I looked at them and said, the fuck kind of ride is this where you got to be in shape mentally and physically, bro? Like, the fuck? Fuck it, I'm getting on this bitch. I felt like I was in shape physically. I damn sure got to be in shape mentally. I had to be like 23 at the time, 23, 24. So, yeah, it was definitely like 23 or 24. Because right after that, we had a random road trip. And we just went from Virginia down to Georgia to go see one of our other homies. And just because it's like, yo, we already out here, bro. Like, when you already out somewhere, you usually go into like another person's house within that same city. We went fucking 2 states down. You feel me? So we just hit the road. But so we get on this motherfucker. So I get on this motherfucker. I'm in line and shit. My heart racing. I'm like, damn. So this motherfucking ride has like an 88-degree drop. 90 degrees is straight up. This shit had an 88 degrees. And it had enough degrees just so the roller coaster can flow. Not so it goes straight down. It goes at a slight angle just so, because roller coasters got to be set up a certain way. I'm getting on this motherfucker. It's like it leans you back and all you see is the motherfucking sky. You don't see the ground. You don't see shit. This bitch had a 90-foot drop. A 90-foot drop at an 88-degree angle. Motherfucker, look. That bitch dropped so fast I couldn't scream. My scream got stuck in the back of my fucking throat, bro. Bruh, I tried to scream and shit. It was like, I tried to be cool with this shit, like, woo. And you feel me? My whole scream gone. I couldn't even like get the shit out until I hit the bottom. Boom, 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 boom. I finished. I said, I'm not getting on that bitch again. When I got off that motherfucking ride, my phone was broke. Like that ride was so, I had my phone in my pocket. By the time the ride was done, my phone was broke. I was like, damn. So even though that was a bad circumstance with my phone breaking, the shit that I felt, like them laughing, I was like, y'all, I am not getting. They said, Ray, it told you that you had to be in shape mentally and physically. I said, I am, but goddamn, this is not no bullshit. Like, this ride is crazy. So I was like, y'all want to go do it again? I said, come on, y'all got to do it with me. Nah, and they said, nah, Ray, fuck that. It was like, look at your phone, bro. I was like, damn. It was like, that shit did that to your phone in your pocket. I'm not getting on that shit. Bruh, that was one of the greatest moments of my life. That shit was hilarious, bro. Like, to this day, I feel good thinking about that shit. I want to get back on that motherfucker. They still got it. But the whole motherfucking, like, those moments are what we should be living for, yo. Those are the moments that we should be building with our homies, with our friends, with our families and shit. Those are euphoric moments. Those are euphoric bonds. We need to have more of those because they give us joy. They give us the things to keep going. They give us the shit that, you know, that makes us live, you know? When's the last time you had a fucking euphoric moment? When's the last time you had a moment of euphoria? And when they said this adult shit, oh, become an adult, that's just bullshit. That's just overrated. You start having euphoric moments when you become an adult. You go to work and you come home. Only thing you can do is have sex and smoke weed and drink alcohol. Like, that's what gives us euphoria in our adulthood. That's bullshit. Friday night, the same old routines. After Friday, you go to the club. You either go to the club, you go to a bar and shit when you're in your 30s. You don't go to the club anymore, let's go to a bar. Okay, same shit. But those are the things that, you know, create, quote unquote, our euphoria. You feel me? Some people don't realize why they get drunk off their ass. Like, you know how much pain you have to be in to have to get drunk off your ass to experience euphoria? You know how, like, just think about that on a grander scale, because that's just damaging your body. Don't get me wrong. When I was in undergrad, I'm gonna give y'all one more motherfucking euphoric moment, bro. This shit was like, yo, okay, look, I'm gonna keep it 100 with you, right? College students are a different type of college students are one type of alcoholics. You feel me? Military motherfuckers are another type of alcoholics, right? When they're in the same bracket, same age bracket, you know, they're, you know, relatively around that shit, right? So, this was after I graduated from college and shit, and I'm with my sister. She's in the military. My sister's in the military. You know, my friends, they're from college. Her friends are from the military, but we all drink. Military motherfuckers drink different from college motherfuckers. I don't like military people. Their drinks are more war-based. Our drinks are more fun-based. But when you bring the motherfuckers together, everybody's drunk and everybody's having fun. So it's like, me and my sister decided to put a party together. So you're like, yo, call your college homies and tell them. I'm like, cool. So I'm like, y'all, we're going to have this party this weekend. Y'all come, boom. Everybody scooped up. Everybody came. You feel what I'm saying? She called her army homies. They came and shit. When I say it was so much, like, because we drink different liquors. We was drinking different liquors, but we had all the liquors. We had some vodka, we had some tequila, we had some Hennessy, we had so much shit, I don't even know. Like, it was just so many different bottles. We was doing some wild shit. Like, we was taking shots of tequila, chasing it with pickle juice. Who the fuck does that? I don't know, but the shit was cool. I mean, the bitch was hitting. I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, when you take the shot of the tequila first, like, I don't drink no more. But when you take the shot of the tequila first and then chase it with the pickle juice, you don't taste the tequila no more. The shit disappeared. Like, it don't burn. It don't do nothing. Knocking them bitches back. Then we put on that. This was when Xbox was popping. I guess it's still popping. I don't know. I don't play video games like that. But we had the Dance Dance Revolution. Bruh, that's the funniest shit ever. And see, you always like, one of my homegirls, she don't drink at all. She's always our designated driver. She's always the sober mind. She's always the rationale. She's always the escape route. She's always everything because she does not drink. She didn't drink. When she actually started drinking, all she drank was a little Smirnoff. The little Smirnoff, little things in the bottle. Not the actual liquor Smirnoff, but the little 0.2% alcohols. And she would sip that shit the whole night and then have half left if she even drank that. but that's all she drunk. She's the only sober one recording us. Man, this shit was the funniest shit ever. First off, I was whooping everybody. Acid Dance Revolution. Drunk or not. Drunk or sober, I was fucking them up. But we drunk and shit, I'm whooping they motherfucking ass. You feel what I'm saying? But I guess it's because me and my sister throwing a party. And it's like, we're kind of hosting it and shit. And it's her friends. So it's like when me and my sister started battling, it's like it divided. It turned into college versus the military, right? But we all drunk as shit. So it's like, you feel me? The point of it was like, we party so hard. We had so much fun. And, we got real liquored up and fucked up. And it created a moment of euphoria for us because it was all fun. But it was like, I'm saying that story because it brings down to the other side. Why does it have to, what kind of pain do we have to be in for inebriation to be taken that far in order to experience euphoria? You feel what I'm saying? In order to experience euphoria. Thinking about moments like that is why I don't want to create trauma bonds with anybody else. I don't want to have trauma moments with no other people. Everything that I do from this point forward, I have to connect with you off of euphoria. I have to connect with you from a euphoric moment. So that way I'm not such in a deep negative state of pain that it takes that level of inebriation to get there. You feel me? When I was in undergrad, when I was heartbroken and going through my bullshit, you feel what I'm saying? I told the story, I was drinking a bottle of Patron because my pain was so deep that in order for me to get that euphoria out of me, I had to drink a whole fucking bottle of Patron, bro. Like, that shit wasn't cool. Like, I was smoking a lot of weed and I would never feel satisfied. Like, you feel me? And that's it. All right, this is for the last little bit before we wrap this up and shit. And even that was one of the reasons how me and the woman ended up getting together. Our commonality was smoking weed. I smoked weed out of the euphoria and the fun of it. She smoked weed to erase the pain. I never knew that. I just know one day I'm sitting outside, I ain't had class. I think it was like a Tuesday or some shit. So I'm sitting at a little table, little pinch, smoking my weed. She's like, "Can I hit your blunt?" "Hell yeah, get my blunt. Here you go." Feel me? She smoking. She was like, "All right." And I didn't know that she smoked to erase pain. I smoked to get high and have fun. Like, you feel me? And at those moments, I was facing my blunts, you feel me, smoking by myself because, you ain't chip in, so fuck it. You feel me? Smoking by myself. But I would only smoke like half of it. You feel me? Go give me some motherfucking Skittles and be chilling. But the longer I stayed with her, the more that changed. I was no longer smoking for the fun part. Like, it got to a point where me and her, we could not have conversations unless we were high. Like, we could not sit and talk unless we were high. It was always some kind of and I started smoking more and more. That half a blunt that had me good went to 2. And I'm like, yo, I'm still, I'm high, but I'm not done smoking. That's when I realized that shit was really a problem. You know what I'm saying? But as I'm experiencing more now, it's like, that's because what once brought me euphoria, because I connected to somebody who had connected and fucked with it on the strength of trauma, it turned it into a trauma bond for me. It turned it into a trauma moment for me. All of the good times that I had with weed, I didn't have those anymore. I had them, but I didn't, that's not what kept me smoking weed. That's not what kept me smoking. You feel me? So I was like, at this point, that shit has to change. You feel what I'm saying? And so we got to be careful with that. Because sometimes you can have a commonality, something that you could be doing for euphoria, another motherfucker could be doing for trauma. You feel me? What you could be doing that brings you joy could be something that somebody's doing to bring themselves pain. That is out of pain. And when the two collide, who's going to win? What is the point that is going to take over? What is the point that is going to truly be the determining factor? Is it going to be the euphoria bond or the trauma bond? Which one is it going to be? Because you got to really start to pay attention to that. Because if y'all two come together on a commonality, you feel me? I always use this metaphor, like if you're standing on a table, you feel me? Because the gravity of things, if you're standing on a table and somebody and you're trying to pull somebody up, it's a lot harder to pull somebody up off the ground than it is for them to pull you down off the table. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes merch and get your merchandise right now. All right. I'm gonna wrap it up there. Like I said, this was an impromptu, man. Like, I'm looking at life differently now. Now that I got like an actual name for this shit now. These are all I want. I knew there was something that you can have. There's something that you can do. There's some kind of experience that you can have that can trigger an eternal joy. The same way trauma triggers pain. And now I have a name for it. That's all I'm gonna seek from this point forward, yo. That's all I'm gonna see. All I want is euphoric bonds. Like, show me the things that bring you euphoria. You feel me? Even if we have something that is a commonality between us, I gotta know that it's not trauma for you. You feel me? You're not doing it out of trauma. You're doing it out of euphoria, of how it makes you feel good. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's the standard for me now. Like all I want. I've always knew that this was the standard, but now I got the name for the shit. Now I can put actual practice to it. Like, all I want is euphoric bonds, yo. Everything I do from this point forward in life, any relationship, any kind of encounter I have with people, it's like, yo, you gotta be doing something that I do that brings me euphoria. And it's gotta bring you equal euphoria, or you gotta be triggered to joy from it, because if not, you ain't gonna be my friend. You can't be my motherfucking friend. I can't fuck with you. I can't fuck with you heavy. You feel me? And it has to be beyond one thing. Like, we can't just have one euphoric moment that we connect with. We ain't gonna go nowhere. I'm done. I'm done with trauma bonds. I'm done with them. If you connect to me, I just had a breakup in a relationship. Bye-bye. Nope. Ain't fucking with you. Now, if you like, I've been single for this long and I done traveled here, and here, and I'm like, oh, tell me about that. How did that make you feel? Give me the euphoria behind that shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's the shit that I'm on. That's the shit that I'm gonna be on from this point forward for the rest of my motherfucking days. You feel me? For the rest of my life, like that's it. I'm not connecting to any more trauma bonds, trauma people. Like, this isn't to say like I'm gonna dismiss people's traumas and shit like that, because everybody got them. I still got my traumas and shit, but I'm leading with euphoria, because now I'm learning. Like, I realized how how easy it was for me to slip into negativity just by trauma bonding with people. So that means, how easy will it be to slip into positivity by euphoric bonding with people? You feel what I'm saying? I can no longer fuck with people who say haters are my motivation. Haters, they don't motivate me for shit. Fuck that, because that's an extension of that. If a hater is your motivation, that means, people that dislike you, people that bring trauma to your life, are what motivates you to do good. You know how much trauma you're gonna have to keep getting in order to be motivated? Nah, lovers motivate me, buddy. Lovers motivate me. Why do lovers motivate me? Lovers motivate me simply because I know that it's going to be tied to euphoria. So now this all goes full circle to one of the podcast episodes that I did about the chakras, specifically the solar plexus chakra, because I always say there's only two emotions, joy and pain. You feel me? When your feelings are mastered to where you're able to live a life through joy, that joy is going to create a life of love off of the heart chakra, right? Your personal identity is going to be rooted in love. You feel what I'm saying? But when you go through negative feelings and then that leads you to the emotion of pain, that's going to cause your personal identity to be developed through hatred. You feel what I'm saying? It's a method to my madness. I've been saying a lot of gems, but I'm seeing it now. All I want is motherfucking. I mean, you got to connect with the euphoria. That slipped out, man. I'm trying to work on that. But you got to give me some. It got to be a euphoric bond. We got to have moments where we feel good. We would not develop a friendship if all you have to do is vent about the bad things, about like the things that brought you trauma. I get it. You got to vent. You got to get those things out. But you also have to keep reaffirming, because there's a difference between venting and reaffirming shit. Saying it over and over again without the intent to fix the shit, you're just reaffirming. You feel me? Let's start reaffirming euphoric bonds. You feel what I'm saying? I mean, I'm not trying to toot my horn or brag. Like, did you like listening? Did you see how, like, when I gave my euphoric moments, how just, you feel me? How much just like, when you get some time to yourself, Think about a moment that gave you euphoria and just sit with it. See how it makes you feel. See what it does to your heartbeat. See what it does to the blood running through your body. See what it does to your smile. See what it does to your eyes. Watch how you start to feel. Tap into that shit. Tap into that type of energy all the time. Connect with friends. Connect with people. Start building relationships off of that. You feel me? Euphoric moments. Moments of euphoria. You feel me? Start creating moments of euphoria with people. So what does this mean? You have to be able to start doing fun things, spontaneous things, things that aren't so rooted in the trauma that you're used to. You feel what I'm saying? I know women who tell me all the time, I hate going to the club because men do all of that, but they don't stop going to the club. You're not having euphoric moments in the club. You feel me? You're not having euphoric moments in the club anymore. You did? It's just not working for you. So stop trying to have them. But we get so used to the norm that we don't know that we get so used to the normalcy that we don't realize it's not normal. You feel me? Tap into that euphoric shit, yo. Get into these euphoric vibes. Let's get on these euphoric energies. From this point forward, all 2021, if you're hearing this, all 2021, set the intention and the goal to motherfucking create euphoric bonds. If they can't give you a euphoric bond, don't connect with them. You'll know if you get in a euphoric bond from the jump. Y'all go ahead, shoot your shot, start talking, start seeing how fucked up the relationships were they just came out of and shit. Say, nope, gotta go. I can't relate to that shit. I'm not relating to that shit no more. You feel me? I'm not relating to that shit anymore. I don't have recent bad relationships anymore. Like if I'm relating to you and we were telling a story about a fucked up ex, my shit extends back to 2012. You feel me? These stories, the stories about the heartbreaks and that shit's old now. That shit's old as fuck to me. Your shit was yesterday. I'm not dealing with that shit. Got me all the way fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? Tell me about some shit that you did as a single person that I can connect with. As a single person, I started businesses. I started doing other things. I learned how to trade. I learned how to invest. I learned how to do a lot of different things. Let's euphoric bond off that shit. Let's euphoria bond off that shit. Let's have true euphoric bonds from this point forward. You feel me? If a motherfucker can't have a euphoric bond with you because they hate you, or you feel like, they feel like you bragging all the time, fuck them, cut them off. You ain't got to fuck with them. Don't create a euphoric bond. If you are the motherfucker who every time they always bragging and doing this shit, ain't nobody connected with you. Change your motherfucking energy. Start being happy for motherfuckers who are succeeding in life. It'll help you succeed in life. Motherfucker, shit. Motherfuckers get on my nerves with that shit. Man, that guy always bragging. Like, there's people that will really infuse negative shit just for that reason, bro. They'll infuse negative shit in that just because they don't like euphoric moments. Just because they're allergic to euphoric moments. Shit breaks them out. They get hives and shit. Because a motherfucker had a euphoric moment and they expressed the euphoric moment with them, and now motherfucker don't know how to act. You feel me? Motherfuckers really get allergic to that shit. Stay away from motherfuckers that are allergic to euphoria. They're allergic to euphoria and addicted to trauma. Whew. That is a fucking quandary for your ass. You feel me? Allergic to euphoria but addicted to trauma. That's some bullshit if I ever heard it before in my life. You feel me? Look at your relationships now, your familial structure. Look at how, you feel me? Since becoming an entrepreneur, friendships, all of that shit, a lot of shit has changed. A lot of shit has changed. I can't even express having a good entrepreneur week with motherfuckers. You feel me? Because they had a bad week of work. You feel me? They didn't really have a bad week of work. They just had another week that repeated itself. And they mad at me. Yo, I just made this new design and I just sold this many today. These many units just moved. Oh, okay. Fuck you, negative motherfucker. You ain't killing my euphoria. And yep, I'm going to keep bringing it up because I'm happy. Clap along if you feel like happiness is the truth, motherfucker. You digs. But yeah, man. Start having euphoria moments, yo. I'm telling you, them shits feel good as fuck. Them shit. Find the shit that brings you euphoria and find people that do that. Find people to do things. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Stop connecting with motherfuckers just because y'all are comfortable being in trauma-ridden, situations. You feel me? Or trauma-ridden energy. Fuck that shit, man. We ain't doing that shit no more. 2021, we ain't doing that shit no more. 2021 is over. That shit died in April. We've been in limbo. We've been in fucking limbo. Goddamn 5-6 months, bro. It's not funny, but it's funny. You feel me? So, I don't know, man. I'm glad I had this impromptu, man. I really needed to put this shit out and put this shit into perspective because this shit's been bugging me for a long time. Like, what is the one thing that triggers joy the same way trauma triggers pain? And it's euphoria. Learn how to have euphoria without drugs. Do it without being inebriated. You feel me? Do it without being intoxicated. Do it sober. Learn how to have euphoric moments when you're sober. Get high off that. You feel what I'm saying? Get high off the success. Get high off the thrills and, the different things that make you feel good. The euphoria of it all. You feel what I'm saying? Start doing that. You start to see a lot of motherfuckers drop off because your energy's changing. Your energy is gonna be different. You'll smile more. You feel me? You start to look younger. You start to age backwards. You feel me? Motherfuckers won't know how old you are, how young you really are. They're like, you're what? You're what? How old? How young? What? You crazy. It's because euphoria is driving you. Euphoria is driving you, which makes you feel better, which makes your energy vibe up. You feel what I'm saying? It makes you vibe up, yo. Yo, man, that's real, man. I'm gonna listen to this shit again, bro. I needed to hear this. Cause for real, like it's time to change this shit, man. We done been through enough trauma, especially as black people. We done been through enough trauma. We gotta stop creating. I think that's one of the reasons why we stay in the states that we in sometimes. Because we're so used to trauma that's what we connect to it. It's crazy being black in the world. I ain't gonna say black in America. Being black on Earth, you experience every level. Every level you were in is trauma ridden for the most part, and we create trauma bonds as we go higher and higher up. You feel me? Even in this entrepreneurial world, I be seeing a lot of us are entrepreneurs because of the pain we felt. You feel me? I'm an entrepreneur because I hate poverty. Because I grew up in poverty. I'm like, I don't want that shit anymore. You feel me? I've learned to have my euphoric moments within it, but the core of why I started, man, my kids ain't going through this shit. My kids ain't going through this shit, bro. They kids ain't going through this shit. This shit stops here. How I go? The buck stops here, goddamn. I'm shooting the fuck out of this buck. I'm putting that bitch down. Like, fuck the bullshit, bro. Fuck the bullshit, my nigga. Like, this shit is real. Like, from this point forward, like, and this is what I'm saying, like, every level that we're going, whether we're in higher academia, we still had that trauma bond. We still making trauma bonds with motherfuckers, yo. We gotta stop that shit. We gotta stop that shit. You feel me? We gotta, from like whatever, where you from, an island, like, we're being black on this earth, we had the same experience. It's all trauma ridden. All of our history, not all of our history, all of the interruptions in our history infuse the trauma within us. You feel me? Not the euphoria, not the shit that make us feel good. You feel me? We got to get back to that shit. Because the euphoric moments is what made us build pyramids. It's what made us build the monuments and shit. It's what made us put the Stonehenge in. Well, I ain't going to claim Stonehenge because I got to do a little bit more research. But it makes us claim Nap the Playa. You feel what I'm saying? That's our shit. You feel me? And Nap the Playa was a dope thing. It was charted with 26,000 year cosmological astrology that shows that it's 2,100 years. Like, we did that shit. Euphoria did that shit. That was a euphoric moment. It won't trauma. It won't trauma. We didn't bond off of trauma. You feel me? In our greater days, in our golden ages. We had several golden ages in different cultures, like, you feel me? Different black cultures. So I want us to be able to get back to that shit, bro. Sis, you feel me? Start creating relationships. Start creating familial structures. All of that shit off of trauma. I mean, not off of trauma bonds, off of euphoric bonds. You see how easy that shit flows off the tongue? Trauma bonds. Trauma bonds. Everybody got trauma bonds. How many euphoric bonds you got? After you finish playing it, listen to this podcast, you feel me? Go into a quiet room, get a piece of paper, and write down everything that gave you euphoria. The moment you start talking about it, it triggers your joy. Feel it. Feel what that shit feels like. Watch how you smile. Watch how your body how it makes you sit up. You feel me? Watch how it makes you feel. Start writing them things down. And if the shit in life that you involving yourself with doesn't give you up, start infusing your euphoria in that shit. Start creating euphoric moments in that shit. You feel me? We got to change this shit. We got to change our inner selves. And I think it's going to be done, my own personal perspective, I think it'll be done by how we're able to infuse euphoria into our lives as opposed to trauma. Because we see what the trauma's getting us. We already see what the trauma's getting us. We ain't got shit to lose if we see what the fuck the euphoria is going to get us. We got everything to gain. We ain't got nothing to lose at this point. We ain't got nothing to lose. So the euphoria, man, let's make that the thing. Let's make that the move. We can talk about our trauma bonds. Let's break them. Let's start to now let's have a solution for the trauma bonds. Create euphoria bonds, euphoric bonds, however you're going to look at it from this point forward. But really start to tap into that, So I'm going to end it there. As always, be sure to follow me on Instagram _just_seen_. Visit my website, iamjustseen.com, to get all things that are just seen. Be sure to kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables, and start paying attention to the things that bring your babies euphoria, and let them have that. Let them feel it. Let them stick with that. You feel me? Let your baby start creating euphoric moments with you, around you, and everything like that without stifling them. Don't let the trauma that you're constantly dealing with, or the traumas that you have, keep your babies from having the euphoric moments, because they're going to internalize that shit, and that's going to kill their inner child. You feel me? That's going to kill their inner child. Let their inner child stay fruitful. Let them stay vibrant. Let them keep going, and constantly always give them their euphoric moments. Let their moments of euphoria happen. Let them tap into them and channel them correctly, so that way they can move into adulthood and just be euphoric creators. Their relationships are created through joy. They're not going to get caught up in these bullshit ass abusive relationships, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all of these things. They're going to be able to get into the relationships that are going to grow them physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally. You feel me? Because of the euphoria that they're feeling as kids, and they're able to tap into. Don't let it die when they're teenagers. Don't let it die in these moments. Let them keep having euphoria. Don't make euphoria taboo. Don't, make them feel certain ways because of the shit that you may not have accomplished that, you think, okay, I got to live through it. Don't do that shit. Let your child experience euphoria till they can't experience it anymore. You feel what I'm saying? Let them continue to do that. So that way they know how to create euphoric relationships with people. They're no longer trauma bonding with people. They're creating euphoric bonds with motherfuckers, which creates a life of joy. So like I said, go kiss your babies. Make sure they eat their vegetables. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one, yo. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.